Military flyovers from China and tough talk in Washington have made a possible conflict over Taiwan feel more real over the past month. That is true for Chen Yiguang, a retired finance professional. The Taipei dweller and his family have casually deliberated over stocking on food and water. They could flee if attacked, he said, but flights might all be cancelled. There's always the possibility of invasion, said Chen, 52. Escape, survival and rebellion with aid from Western allies are among the scenarios typically imagined if a sudden Chinese occupation that costs Taiwan its autonomy occurs. The former British colony Hong Kong experienced a sea change with the implementation of the national security law in 2020 that many Taiwanese say is too close to home. Taiwanese have seen what happened to Hong Kong and they're very scared of that, said Shane Li, a retired political. China claims sovereignty over the self-ruled island 160 kilometers away and has not dropped the threat of force, if needed, to capture it. The two sides have been separately ruled since the Chinese Civil War of the 1940s, when Chiang Kai-shek's Nationalist Party retreated to the island after losing the mainland to Mao Zedong's communists. Chinese President Xi Jinping vowed earlier in the month to pursue peaceful unification with Taiwan. But the specter of a war has captured attention since mid-2020 when the People's Liberation Army began almost daily military aircraft flyovers over a sea west of the island, which experts said is China's attempt to normalize its military operations near Taiwan. Xi says China would run Taiwan in a one country, two systems style as pledged in 1997 for Hong Kong. Beijing gave the World Financial Center a degree of autonomy that let people carry on almost like pre-1997. That began eroding after the anti-China protests 2 years ago. Taiwanese would fight back to the limits of their strength, said Ken Wu, Los Angeles chapter vice president for the advocacy group Formosan Association for Public Affairs. It would be hard to leave the island, if surrounded by Chinese ships. Rebels might flee to the mountain ranges to survive, he said. I would imagine Taiwan would definitely try to fight back, Wu said. It's not going to be what China through its propaganda is saying, that Taiwanese people would not fight back, they would just succumb to Chinese invasion and surrender. The People's Liberation Army would post troops at all Taiwan ports and the outlying Pratas Islands of the disputed South China Sea to break a chain of U.S. allies, said Alexander Huang, chairman of a military strategy research foundation in Taipei.